Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play LSD. I'm your host TPC Gamer, and in our last episode, I continued to read some of the words presented to us by the game. Hooray! Now don't ask if this explained anything that was actually shown to us in the game, because the answer to that question is very no. Now in today's dream, this is new. I actively do not remember seeing this before. Ever. In fact, not even in my own personal playthrough. What does Russian even have to do with this game? This is Russian, isn't it? Yeah! There it is, it's CCCP. This is old school Russia, too. Although I tell you what, though, I'm not a communist. No, it's nothing to do with me. And that is a joke from high school. I forget how we got onto the topic. Possibly my friends and I not paying attention to anything in art class, but we made a habit of declaring that we were not, in fact, a communist. And we still do it to this day. Like, that was the entire reason that I reviewed Weltris back in the day. But I hear the sinister sounds of the Bright Moon Cottage, so we can leave Soviet Russia, apparently, and return to bright and sunny Japan. I like Japan. So much so that I am going to go there. And I've also made a point of asking the girls I'm going with if we can stop by Meigetsuso, which is where this game is set, because that is dedication to a Let's Play. You know, that and playing it on and off for about 3 years. I mean, it is legitimately weird to me how long I have been doing these videos. Like, Let's Play videos in general, not just LSD. You know, I've recorded LSD videos in 4 different houses? That's so weird to me. And all from a burning desire to make a really bad Cookie Monster joke in university. Who knew, right? Anyways, back to the present. Oh, mercy, I do not remember the floor down here looking quite as murder-scene-y as it does. And it's a little jarring that the area behind the bar was not textured. Like, you can clearly see into it, just slap some wood paneling down there or something. Ooh, hey, now that tree looks pretty freaky. Why is it doing that? Let's go on a secret adventure to find out. Holy crap, this tree is made of eyeballs. That's another one for your out-of-context LSD quote mine, dear viewers. Seriously, how long has that creepy thing been there and I didn't even notice it? Now that's probably indicative of some kind of paranoia on the part of the dreamer. I wonder if there's an acceptable level of paranoia. There are certain things like, okay, so, if you alphabetize your CD or game collections, technically that's Asperger's syndrome, or OCD. Or common sense, because it helps you tell ABBA apart from Zappa. And if you want to pick on either of those things, then shut up, because they're both from Guilty Gear, so that's where I'm getting those names from. But putting your names in order like that, that's fine. You're not mentally ill simply because you do that. So, are there behaviors that could be considered paranoid, but that are fine? Because, like, I keep the doors open in my house. My closet door is slid open, the hallway door is open, the doors stay open, right? What exactly is splashing around here? I don't know. Anyways, I keep the doors open because closed doors make me uneasy. Bad things hide behind doors, like the woman who waited from Fatal Frame 2. And, like, that's kind of paranoid, right? But I'm still a functioning member of society. I don't like locked doors, but I don't shut myself in, and I don't think the world is out to get me. And yes, I do now realize that I sound like I strayed away from my original path of psychological discussion and ventured into the realm of me trying to convince you that I am not mad. Thus, I'm going to link with this tree and go somewhere else and hopefully segue cleanly into a nice and natural alternative discussion point. Oh hey, I'm back here again. Thankfully, the trees won't be made out of a million unblinking eyeballs. Instead, they'll be, more like a thousand whispered lies. So there's less of them, but they have a bigger effect on your sanity levels and trust issues. Especially when the wind rolls in and makes the trees sway. The wind is a renowned fabricator. I didn't see anything in particular in the writing on the bar, by the way. Like, there's characters I could pick out, but nothing I could read. I think I saw a capital G in there, so that doesn't make any kind of sense. LSD is known for its sense-making. Like right now, for example, the music sounds like a cassette tape caught in its own gears. That's why I'm standing still, so I can get a copy of it for my own nefarious uses. Incidentally, I've done some exploring in flashback mode. I still have zero idea where that rustling noise is coming from. But whatever, let's explore. Let's look at the writing on the floor. Because it's strange to me that there's a sexual tile set in the game, but directly looking at the word sex doesn't influence the likelihood of that appearing. What's up with that? To that end, I wonder who the woman, or women, in the sexual tile set is, or are. Like, is it Hiroko Nishikawa, the woman who wrote the diary that this game is based on? Or is it some random stock photograph woman? Who knows? Whoever it is, I wonder if they knew their face would become this creepy wallpaper in a weird Japanese game. And now I come to think about it, I don't think I've ever seen a sexual tile set in Happy Town. Like, it's always the wax crayon one or the text set. Which is weird, because we are a long way into this game, and that's like half the content the game has not shown me. And it's fitting, I suppose, because we started off with that video of stamps that I've not seen before. Like I say, not just in these videos either. I've played through the whole game in my own time. I didn't even know that video was on the disc. And I wonder how I missed it, given how I've gone through the disc with a media ripper and extracted everything. Like, for someone who's paid a lot of attention and put time and effort into understanding how this stupid game works, I really do miss some stupid things. Oh, and how about that? Bye-bye, Bugler boys. I enjoyed your tunes while you had them, and I will return soon. I am above an alien's eye. I hope I cover it up soon. It's really creepy glaring out at me like that. Like, I don't know why it is that aliens have always scared me as much as they do. Like, you ever hear the War of the Worlds LP? I lost so much sleep because of that. There's some excellent sound design in that album, by the way. And you know what gets me? A friend of mine were talking about this the other day and we stumbled onto this. Why is it that aliens are frequently portrayed as being basically human? Because if you look at the other apes, your chimps, orangutans, gorillas and stuff, they don't look anything like us, and they came from the same starting point that we did. Why would a creature from Mars or Jupiter look the same as us? And what would they look like? So, class, I want you to break up into groups of no more than 5, and discuss among yourselves what alien life would look like. Get back to me with your answers at the end of the class. Because in the meantime, I'm going to try and work out how that car managed to run at me and jump over me without me noticing it at all. And marvel at how that one looks to be caked in blood. You got some zombie driver malarkey going on. Alright, back to the homework assignment. I had this book when I was a kid, and it talked at length about what potential alien races would look like and why, and it was really interesting. So, an alien life form native to Jupiter would be, like, basically a cluster of electrons loosely holding one another together, because there's probably no solid ground. And even if there were, the storms on that planet are intense. And this was when I was like 10 or so. So it was a kid's book presented rather simplistically, but it was a really fun read. Very interesting too. And a surprisingly useful one, because for whatever baffling reason, one of my very first English projects in high school was to create your own species based on a fictional planet's ecosystem. Don't ask me why we didn't do that in biology class, because I have no idea. I seem to recall my biology classes were mostly spent talking about Warhammer. Now, before I go on, I have a hypothesis. The guy behind me only triggers when you are looking at him in close proximity. So if I walk backwards into him, I should link. And so I did. Science! Ah, whatever. Back out I go. I realize I say okay at the start of a lot of sentences, and I should stop doing that, because it's going to give you guys unreasonable expectations of the level of quality you can expect. Stepping back a few spaces, another project we did in high school English was basically the zombie outbreak. The school year began with a scenario we had all eaten tainted sweets, and were now quarantined, just the 30 of us in the class, and we had to write diaries and articles about the various developments. Did I mean to step that way? No, I didn't, my good sir. Ah, well. Oh, and because my friend Chris and I were talking in class, we were the ones who brought the candy and infected everyone in this scenario. We were definitely the villains of that piece. And this is the point where I'm going to play the one last dream card. I'm going to set it down on the desk and turn it sideways to indicate that it has been used, and it is now over to you to draw 3 cards from the deck, 2 from the graveyard, 1 from community chest, and if you land on free parking, then you get to collect all the bad dreams you've ever had since day 1. Or am I thinking of something else? I don't know. Oh! Hello there, Creeper Joe! I didn't even need to bow my head to make you appear. So, what I am immediately going to do, I'm going to hurry along to the ground floor and see if you're sticking out the back end of the building. Like, just as soon as I line myself up with the stairs. Okay, away! Oh, nope. Don't stick into the wall, Andy. I played that game before when I was in school. It's pretty easy, really, because the instructions for how to play the game are also the title of the game. And, like, they discourage clipping through the scenery from a very early age. Like, I haven't done that since I was, about 7. Nowadays, though, I have discovered the joys of loading the wrong rigging and textures when I wake up, so I just end up T-posing around the house, or I go to work with the skin of an ocelot. It's a fun time. Never quite worked out model swapping, though. Which is a shame, because that's one of the best weird things that modders do. And I don't even understand why. Like, I always complain when games break immersion, but on the other hand, I love model swaps, which, you know, go into Skyrim and replace all of the dragons with Macho Man Randy Savage. And it looks like no, you cannot in fact see the big head guy's model through the back of the house model. Praise be to science. Although, admittedly, I think the reason I like certain model swaps is because they break the immersion so horrendously. Like, it's one of those so bad it's good kind of movies. Like Hobgoblins. I mean, I've had some pretty bad news going on in life lately, and I chose to lighten the mood by watching Hobgoblins, and then the incredibly strange creatures that stopped living and became mixed-up zombies. And I will be honest, to some extent I feel kind of bad for that. Like, I've had bad news, I should sit around and be sad. But that's not good for a person. So I chose to make myself feel better by laughing. It helps to take the edge off, you know? Also, hey, it's this tile set! We don't see it very often. I wonder if it continues inside. He said no, and the answer is almost certainly no. And so it came to pass. Man, I should be a prophet or something. And this is just one of several schemes I've thought of lately to get money quickly and easily. The other one, I want to get a book together containing all the nonsense that dads tell their kids when they don't know the answer to something, or just want to mess with them. For example, did you know that the Statue of Liberty occasionally switches torch hands when no one's looking? Like, her arms get tired holding up the torch all the time, so she swaps it over. And, you know, it would go on like that. And I would name the book Dad's Science, because even that is a pretty lame pun. And once again, I'm being a train, with my authentic steam train sounds. I saw this one thing while I was shopping the other day. It's a toy dragon or whatever. And one of the things it prompted on the side of the box was authentic sounds. How do you figure that, toy makers? Like, where did you go to record a dragon to get authentic sounds? And I know that I'm being needlessly pedantic, but I have to be. Because I hate it when advertisers pull crap like that. Are you going to spawn a train today, game? He's sounding the bell, which means something should be on the way. But I guess that was just a giant fake out, so... Hey, thanks for that. That said, some of the most effective horror is the stuff you are told is on the way, but that takes its time in arriving. To go back to one of my favourite games, and my wife, Silent Hill 2 does that. You wander on your own, and you're just alone for 5 minutes before you find another human being. And then another 10 minutes before you see another monster, and that's if you run to go and find it. But the game is structured and paced in such a way that it always feels like you're being watched at all times, so you're put on edge because you don't know who or what is out there. And that reminds me, another thing I've specifically requested to do on my trip to Japan, having seen that, I want to play Taiko Drum Master. I mean, the girls running the trip think I'm not taking things very seriously, because they ask me what I want to do on my trip, what shrines do I want to go to, or landmarks I want to see, where do I want to eat, what do I want to do and see and experience, and I'm like, I want to play Silent Hill Arcade? Like, I don't care. I'm going to be in Japan. That's enough for me. Oh, and the text on the blue banner there looks like it's saying he sadori. That doesn't mean anything. At least as far as I can tell. Oh, and along the top here, it says nu re re re. I think this game is now deliberately screwing with me. Like, it's like the Hangul that's written in the Monument Garden. Like, looks good, but doesn't actually tie anyone down to meaning anything, and that is some ultra spook game. You stop that. I'm gonna stop this. Join us next time for more of it. And until next time, goodbye.